$dollars, yeah, yeah. Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're live. It's another Wednesday night brew party, and I am super excited for this one because we're going to be talking about some stuff we haven't done before on the podcast. Couldn't think of anybody better to do it with than my guy from Higher Calling Entertainment, content creator. He's a competitive darts player, the one, the only, the dart daddy, 1LungLow. My friend Mikey. Mike, how you doing, man? Thank you so much.
Doing good. Thanks for having me. Man, what an honor to be the first competitive dart player / content creator on the show.
Yeah.
I mean, I just love sports. I've watched your podcast many times, and it's just an honor to be here, my friend.
Yeah, absolutely. It's an honor to have you. So it's really funny, you're one of my friends, another one that I've met through just like online, this time through Twitch. Through our now good buddy, a friend of yours for a very long time, Mr. Ron Funches. We're both proud members of the Funch Bunch. So he started streaming on Twitch, about 7 or 8 months ago? And
I think about June. Yeah.
Right. And you were already streaming at that point, right? You were.
Yeah.
Did he like hit you up before and was like, hey, what's the deal with this or what?
Actually, no, it was really funny. Like, I had been streaming since just about the start of the pandemic. I did it as a way actually to like interact with my son, because my son lives on the coast. And with the pandemic, like, I've got one lung, not real smart to go out, not able to go anywhere. So I used it as a way to kind of connect with him, and it just kind of organically grew. And I found in June, actually, I just saw him post something. He's like, I'm on Twitch. I'm like, what? And I went and found him, like, dude, what are you doing? And he's like, oh, yeah, I started Twitch, and, reconnected through there. I mean, we've never lost connection over the years, but, like, I think with him moving to LA and stuff, like, we didn't talk as regularly as we used to, but Twitch has, like, reignited that friendship, and we're able to talk, all the time. So it was fun. Really fun.
So you guys like worked at a bank together, like way back in the day?
Is that right? Salem, Oregon, 2004. We started working for a call center, and man, it was some of the best and worst times of our lives, I think. But man, it's so much fun. We play Mario Kart on the floor while we're talking to customers, and just hanging out. And I think he actually, like, I had always played video games, but like, he's the one's like, hey, you should go get the Nintendo Switch, or you should go get the Nintendo DS. And went and got the Nintendo DS, and just kind of grew from there. And it was just a lot of fun, and one of my favorite memories from working there. But then I actually moved to California and started a branch for Wachovia while he stayed in the call center, and then ended up getting fired, which we all know that story from Conan O'Brien.
Yeah.
But so he started, actually, he wasn't even doing stand-up at that point when we first met, and he actually was starting stand-up as our friendship grew, and then he started going on the road, and go and see him whenever he was around. But yeah.
Right. Did you back when you met him, you never would have thought that he would just one day become this famous comedian? And
never knew he'd be a famous comedian, but he was always funny. Like,
right.
He always had that sense of humor that you never really expect, and he always took it such a different way than you'd expect it to go.
Right.
But he always had that humorous, but also very kind, sweet, gentle soul. So
yeah,
he's really good, really awesome.
Speaking of our boy Ron, he has a new show coming out, Chopped 420, on Discovery Plus, debuting on 420. What better day for it? So, I mean, I know you and I are both going to be there he's doing a Twitch stream, watch along.
Yeah.
Bring your BYOB, bring your own bud, get Discovery Plus, but it's going to be a great time, especially, I'm a fan of the regular Chopped. I can't wait to hear Ron say you've been chopped. That's going to be incredible. But I don't know if he's shared anything special with you about it or what you're looking forward to most.
Well, I think he's just mostly shared that he loved doing it. Like, you know, it's
Mhm.
one of I think that if you were to say, "Hey, Ron, you're gonna host a show, and it's gonna be about food, and it's gonna be about marijuana," he's gonna be all over it. You know, it's
All
like
in, yeah, all
it
in.
is the dream come true of shows, and I know that, you know, he's been in a lot of different projects, and I've seen him do, you know, movies and TV shows, but this is definitely one of his big things, and I'm really excited to watch him be on it. I think for me, it'll be fun watching like how he handles like the sad part of the show, like when you're kicking people off.
Yeah.
Because, you know, Ron is one of those people that's always been like, you know, we're getting better, we're lifting each other up, and so it'll be
Right.
interesting to see how he handles those moments.
Well,
I'm really excited.
do you remember when he did the Omen special? He was telling everybody that lost to get the fuck out. So I don't know.
Yeah.
He might be pretty good at this.
Yeah, he might be. He might be. The difference I think between that and this is like the Omen special is a bunch of already known celebrities that are, you know, already made it and they're playing for charity. Where this is, you know, people, real dreams, real lives, and you're like saying, okay, you didn't make it, you know.
Mhm.
But I think he's gonna love it. I think we're all gonna love it, and I hope it sticks around for many seasons to come. So
Yeah.
if you have Verizon, it's free. It's free on Verizon, so go check it out. You know.
My friend Tom's give out a new hair, new background. Good stuff. Thank you so much, Tom. I actually was able to get out of the house, you know, shaved my beard, chopped off all my hair. And we got our guy look shenanigans in the building. Look at these guys. Thank you so much. So let's talk a little bit about you, my man. Enough about Ron. So you're 1LungLow, content creator for Higher Calling Entertainment. Tell me about HC, kind of like how that got started, how you got involved, what all you guys really do.
Yeah, so HC actually started in January of 2020. So very beginning of the year. A few of my friends met at TwitchCon, and they, you know, really got along. They decided, okay, we want to start our own org, and so they started their own org. And one of the people that started it is my good friend Inked Ice, which if you've been in my streams, you've met him, seen him. Great player, great guy. And he's actually a friend that I play darts with. And so he was like, hey, if you're looking to, you know, branch out and network and whatnot, come hang out with these guys. And I can't tell you, meeting these guys has been like meeting a family in an org. Like, they're great. Everybody's so uplifting. I mean, you come by the streams, there's always other HC members in there. But we really try to strive not just on content creation, but we do a lot of community service in the way of doing streams for charity. Like I'm doing a St. Jude stream with a bunch of different people next month. It'll be like I think 49 hours straight streaming, and where we'll all rotate in and out. But we've raised money for the Children's Miracle Network, for autism awareness, for suicide awareness. I actually like to say that we are more of a team built around lifting others than just content creating. And so the Higher Calling is more like, hey, we're here to do something bigger and better and something fun. And it's a great team to be a part of. We've got so many talented people on the team that I enjoy. So
yeah,
our friends Chente Conviction, who also helped me with all of our friends' Twitch accounts. So, you know, we do a lot of stuff for, you know, Jeremiah, for Carmen Morales, for Kevin Gill, and of course Ron Funches.
So yeah, I'm very curious about this. So what all goes into that, like behind the scenes of a Twitch stream that you guys? Yeah.
So Khan is kind of like our guru. Like, he knows computers, he knows pretty much anything that breaks, he can fix, and usually remotely. And if he can't fix it, he's going to send you something to fix it. And so he is amazing. He's a great guy. Chente is a designer. He does all of the overlays, and and Khan does overlays as well. So I can't say he does all of them, but he does a lot of like the animations you see. Like Ron's we've been doing Weed and Review. So he's creating an overlay for Weed and Review that it will be unveiled in the next Weed and Review. So yeah, and that goes into it. And then like I do a lot of the background stuff, like all the chatbot stuff and all the stuff you see pop up during the stream. When Ron has an issue, I'm usually in there in behind the scenes fixing his stuff. So along with like producing Get High Watch Wrestling. So yeah, it's a lot of fun. There's a lot that goes behind the scenes. There's a lot of hours that I don't think people see and account for. And between all that and then streaming myself, it can be a busy week for sure.
Plus, you got a regular day job that you work very hard on and have a lot of work that you have to get done for too. So I get that, man. So take me through your thought process. What made you want to start, streaming? I'm sure you said it was a way to connect with your son. Did you know like a lot about it, like going in? And I'm sure you were a pretty avid gamer.
Yeah. I mean, I've always been an avid gamer. I love first person shooters. I mean, how many hours have we played Call of Duty? I mean,
we played a lot of
Warzone. We put them in there. We put it in there.
Yeah.
So yeah, we do a lot of gaming. But I was, I've got a different perspective, and I like to try and show that just because you're handicapped, you can still do everything. Like I've worked my entire life. I couldn't play sports, so that's why I kind of got into darts. And but yeah, I just wanted to start streaming to show people that you can do it, and be successful at multiple different avenues, and just kind of share that good news, like, hey, we're thriving, we're vibing, we're good.
We got a comment here, tight spot. Do we drink every time Dart Daddy gets set? I mean, I'm game. Dart Daddy.
Dart Daddy.
But that's awesome, man. So do you have particular games? I know you play a wide variety, but what are your kind of favorites to play on stream? Do you find it more difficult to play certain games on stream rather than off, or like vice versa?
100%. So I think that any game where I have to focus like 100%, I'm just over Dark Daddy.
Dark Daddy.
So I have to focus a lot. It's hard to engage in chat, and I love to engage in chat.
Yeah.
So I think that battle royales are my favorite, of course. Like that competitive nature in me, like I want to win, I want to have fun, I want to get as many kills as I can.
Yeah.
So those are definitely at the top of my list. And I think that Outriders has been a good difference because you're with your team, but you're still trying to compete and like beat all the bosses and everything. And it's that first person shooter. So that's been a good change. But I think like Apex, Call of Duty, those battle royales really, I mean, never really liked the Fortnite. I hate the building. So never really got into it. Like I played some Fortnite with my kid and with a couple of my friends' kids just because they want to play. And I'm like, fine, but you're building because I'm not doing it. Like I'll shoot them and I'll end up getting like 12 kills in a game, but I'll end up getting shot at the end by some guy that's built a building that's 12 stories high. And it's like, that's not real. That's not real. Get it out of here.
Dude, that was always my problem in that game is I would just like freak the fuck out whenever I needed to build. I'm just like trying to remember all the buttons, trying to like not get shot. It's like, it's intense. I don't know. One of my former roommates has put in like just an obscene amount of hours on Fortnite. And I just don't get it. But that's awesome, dude. Let's talk a little bit about how, like, what got you into video gaming. What's your first memory of gaming, first console, first game you really like dove into and loved?
Yeah, so I go all the way back to the original Nintendo. Like that's my roots, right? Like I've played Atari and all that stuff, but that wasn't my first. My first was sitting on these blue pillows that we had in my bedroom at 3 years old, mash that button to get Mario to jump. That is my original. And I mean, I still to this day will play hours of Mario. So that's definitely my first love and definitely what got me started in video games. But I've had pretty much every system you can think of growing up. I had other than the Sega Dreamcast. I never owned a Dreamcast. Played a lot of Dreamcast, but never owned it. But I've had Sega CD, Sega 32X, Nintendo 64, Switches, everything. I mean, it's just all of it. I love it. And then I started playing PC games probably about 10 years ago, playing a game called Guild Wars and Guild Wars 2. And it had that competitive nature. We were PvPing all the time. And so it kind of got me to that. And then we were playing some Counter-Strike Source. Okay. And that's kind of a first-person shooter. And, again, we played a lot of gun game trying to be – it's kind of like the old-school Battle Royale,
Yeah.
So definitely played a lot of that. And then I, went through and had the family life and, kind of moved away from PC gaming and back to console. So you're playing a lot of PS3, PS4. And now I have my PS5, which I haven't opened yet, but I have it.
You just have a PS5 just sitting in a box?
Yeah, literally. It's been here for like 2 weeks. I haven't taken it out. I've been busy. I just haven't had a chance. But
there's so many people that are going to see this now or hear this and be like, "What the fuck?"
I know. I have games for it. I've got 2 extra controllers. Everything. It's ready to go. Just it's got to be the right time. I want to dedicate a day to setting it up and just being. I don't want to set it up and be like, "All right, it's set up," and then just have to walk away. It's something that I want to do. I want to do it right.
Yeah. Is it weird for you to go from playing with keyboard and mouse to controller, or is it just kind of just muscle memory?
Yeah. Depends on the game, I think, honestly. Like, I feel like it would be really weird to go from keyboard and mouse to a controller, like playing Call of Duty or something. But if I'm playing keyboard and mouse and going to controller to play Tony Hawk Pro Skater, no problem at all. I'm right back in it, muscle memory. We're good to go. So I think that it just depends on the game. I'm really excited to play Spider-Man, and I know that that's going to get me back into like. I love the Batman Arkham. Arkham games from PS3. So I really feel like this is going to be very similar to that. So I'm excited, and I'm ready to get into it. But just haven't yet.
Are there any other games you're looking forward to that are supposed to be coming out this year? I feel like the big games that everybody's hyped up, it's just like, there's been some kind of problems. Like I've talked about it on this podcast before with Cyberpunk, all of those issues, and then
we don't even want to talk about.
We don't even need to get into that. That's way old news at this point. But then now Outriders, which you mentioned you started playing. I started playing last night. Super excited to play with you and Ron, and the rest of the Funch Bunch. And there's like crossplay issues there. I don't know, any other games that come to mind for you that you've really been looking forward to? I know I'm still on this Warzone kick, man.
Oh, I love Warzone. I mean, I think that the introduction of the island and just being able to have that smaller map with almost as many people, honestly. Like, you go to a 4-player game, you got 100 people in there. It's crazy. But I love Warzone. But I've been watching Ron play some Oddworld, and that takes me back to that original Xbox game days, and so I'm excited to try that. But really, I don't get too excited for upcoming games because I always feel like I'm disappointed, or they move on, or they get moved out. And so I try to just play what I can now and stay on that and love it. And I think that this rendition of Warzone is probably the best Warzone they've had, or Battle Royale they've had for Call of Duty yet. So I want them to keep making improvements on it.
Yeah, just keep updating it, fix the little bugs and everything. But no, it's a great game. It's definitely one that you can get lost a few hours in.
Oh yeah.
For sure. So, favorite video game of all time? Do you have that in your mind?
Oh man, I think the game Super Mario 3. I mean, Super Mario 3 is probably I could sit and I could play that game for hours. Like, I just love that game. It'll probably always be my favorite game, and I've got so many good memories playing it that I think that's the spot.
Absolutely, man. So let's talk a little bit about your name, if we can. The 1Lung. Can we? So where? Obviously, you only have 1Lung.
Yeah.
Was that a nickname you've kind of had like for a long time? Was it one you came up with yourself, or what's the origin there?
I think that the name kind of came, from the old jokes of, 1LungLow, and like, well, I'm 1LungLow, just it was just it was in a car ride actually with me and my uncle and a couple of friends, and we actually headed to a dart shoot, and we saw a sign for a restaurant called 1LungLow, and it spurred off that, and it was just kind of funny, but I kind of use it as a way to break the ice. I think that when people come into my stream and they see oxygen on my face, they don't ask, why do you have oxygen, and you just kind of move past that point, and so it doesn't become a focal point of why are you watching my stream. It's not there, not there to find out what's wrong with me, because it's right in the name. They understand oh,
Yeah.
he's got one lung,
Yeah.
that's why he's got oxygen, and so I kind of use it as that, and then also like a basis for people to not feel ashamed for you needing assistance for things. I mean, whether it's an insulin pump or an oxygen tank or whatever. I mean, people are people, and however they do it to live is what they got to do. I mean, just kind of a backstory. Like I was born with one lung. I always had one lung. My other lung is there technically, but it's hypoplastic, which means it's there, just doesn't work. They probably did like 50 or 60 different surgeries and different things to try and get it to work, and it didn't want to work. So we move on. But my heart's turned around backwards when his baby had a hole in my heart, missing 3 ribs. I've got like my spinal cord is curved. I mean, you name it, I've got. I mean, I had a surgery where they thought I had a mass on my one working lung, so they went in to remove it. Found out it was my liver, so they're like, "Oh wait, we can't remove it," and so they moved it back down. And so they call me a modern miracle. I've been in some medical books. I'm patient A, but I know it's me. I've had surgeries done on me that's never been done on people before. So it's crazy. It's a interesting life. I'm 34 years on this world, and I've done some crazy things, and most of it I can't even attest to. I was just there. But
Dude.
I try to be an example for people to be like, hey, it gets better. It's not so bad. You can do it. And that's where the name comes from, and we just push through and keep living, right?
Hell yeah, man. I mean, I feel like you're doing way more than living. You're fucking kicking ass, dude. You're running multiple people's Twitch streams. You're working like we said before the podcast. You're Ron Funches behind the scenes. You're his right hand man. You do stuff for Carmen. You do stuff for, like you said, Jeremiah Watkins. Like all these people, and I mean, throw in this competitive darts career, which we're about to get into. Like, you let nothing stop you. You keep going, and I really, really admire you for that, man.
I appreciate that.
It is really inspiring. So let's talk about your darts career. You know I had to do it. Dart Daddy!
Yeah. Dart Daddy!
So that is... Let's talk about the Dart Daddy name real quick, because that's not that was not a nickname you ever got.
No.
From darts, literally just like organically happened when we were talking over Discord on, I think it was on Ron's one of Ron's streams, and you're just the legendary Dart Daddy. Now we need to get that on the back of a jersey. We need Dart Daddy shirts. So let's talk a little bit about your competitive darts career. So you talked earlier how you couldn't really play sports. You got into darts. Like, how young were you when you got into this? Actually,
I started playing competitive darts like 2013, 2014, so not that long ago, in retrospect. But I've always been competitive. High school, I couldn't play sports, so I was on the debate team. I argued pretty well, so did that, and did student congress, and was actually #1 in the state chair for my senior year. Like, it was, I've always had the competitive drive to do something, and I mean, I've got a wicked basketball shot. I can shoot 3-pointers, foul shots, and I sink them. Like, my dad, he played pretty. I mean, like, just a few under, like, AAA basketball, like whatever you call it, like junior basketball. I don't know what it is, but competitive, and he's great. And we used to play all the time. But unfortunately, you got one lung. You can't really run a lot, and you get stuffed all the time because you got a rod on your back, so you're 4'11", and kind of the world screws you when it comes to that. But I played t-ball when I was a kid, and I can whack the ball, and just can't run the bases real well.
I always loved
sports.
Is basketball. Have you ever seen that movie? You would be incredible. You just sit there and shoot.
Yeah. And I love sports. I mean, you go to the arcade and you're shooting the basketball in a little basketball machine. Dude, I nail those shots.
Pop a shot.
Nobody stopped me. Nobody's stopping me. But no, I love sports, and always had the competitive drive, and so then my uncle, he's played darts for years and years and years, and he like just all of a sudden got back into it. He's like, "Hey, you want to play with me?" And so I started playing, and just around the house, just playing with him. And I was like, "Oh man, this is a lot of fun." And he took me to a tournament, and I wasn't playing; I was just watching him. A little bar tournament, nothing big, and I just watched it. Like, man, I really like that. It's a lot of fun. And so finally, I was like, all right, I'm going to go play in a tournament, right? And so I went to this little tournament called at the Underground Bar. It was still remember, and I got teamed up with this guy who was like, his name was Kelly, and he was amazing shot.
Mhm.
And I was definitely terrible, man. I was, I don't think I hit a bullseye all night. Like it was just, but I hit some shots when I needed to, and we ended up winning the tournament. And it was my first tournament. So first tournament I went to, I win it, and it's like, shit, I'm the best. Let's do this, And
hell yeah.
you get that drive, and it's like, all right, I want to get better.
Mhm.
And it took me a long time to actually get to a place where I felt competitive. And I was at like a regional competition up in Seattle, and we're in the lower division, and I finally hit my first hat trick with just 3 bowls, and I was like, holy crap. And then like maybe 2 turns later, I hit my second hat trick, and it's like, now I've busted the seal. I'm hitting hat tricks. I can do this. And slowly just make your way up the ranks. And, finally I think it was actually 2014. So about a year later, I actually competed in a national tournament in California. And it was the US Open California division. And it's like national, everybody comes there from all over the country. And I was in Division 1. So there's an open Division 1, which is like the semi-pro, and then you've got the Division 2, which is like your amateurs. And so I championed Division 1, and I was like, man, this is crazy. And so it just started from there. And I met Ultimate Team Gear, Charles. He's amazing. You've probably seen him on the stream once or twice now. And he owns Ultimate Team Gear and another dart company called Red Eye Rhino, which actually, unfortunately, because of COVID, we kind of let go. Just kind of kept Ultimate Team Gear, and love it. And also the Dart Zone. And so with those 2 companies, I go around helping them run tournaments. I've traveled the country playing, just been able to do so many cool things because of those guys and darts. And it's amazing. Been to Vegas so many times I can't even think about it. Like, I get out of the car at Vegas and they're like, oh, Mr. Miner, you're back. It's like, oh man, I'm back. Yep, here we are. So
Daddy's home.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm unique though. People remember me, and that's one thing about having the tank and having the oxygen is like, most people they remember who I am, and that's a blessing I think with the oxygen tank. Like I can tell my story and people remember it, and that's an amazing part of being who I am.
I don't know if this is going to be a weird question. So like when you're shooting, is that like part of your rhythm, like having that tank like right next to you? Do you like have like one hand on it, one hand on the dart, or is no? Like I didn't know.
No, actually, my darts, my tank sits off to the side, and my cord, my oxygen tube, is actually the one that's connected to the tank is 7 feet long.
Oh,
and
okay.
To the board from where you're standing is 8 feet, and so with the slack and with I've got abnormally long arms, like super long arms, because I should be like 6'1".
That's probably why your shot's so wet.
Yeah, if my spine was straight, I'd be like 6'1".
Yeah, for sure.
It's crazy. So I've got super long legs, super long arms, and this like tiny ass torso. So I love darts, and so when I throw my darts, I'll be standing at the line, and I can walk all the way to the line, and I don't even have to move my tank. It just sits there. And all my competitors that I play with, regionally or nationally, like all of them been super cool. Like I've had very few people like, oh, you need to move that tank. I think most of them are really chill about it. So it's really nice. Even when I was playing on stage, like people are cool. They're really cool.
I mean, you got to be a real dickhead to ask somebody to move their oxygen tank.
And there are some. I'll let you know. But for the most part, people are pretty cool. Or like I'll beat them and they're like, what do you got in that tank? It's like, come on, bro. What do you think I got in the tank? It's oxygen.
Yeah, it's booze.
I got performance. Like what performance enhancing drugs am I gonna have in an oxygen tank? Like,
it's a tank full of things that'll automatically make me want to throw the dart exactly where I want. Like, what the fuck? So, for anybody that doesn't like know about darts, let's talk about that a little bit. So there's like 501, there's cricket. Can you talk about like the different strategies of like each one of those?
For sure. And it depends on a couple of things. Like number one, are you playing steel tip or soft tip? So steel tip, when you play steel tip darts and you're playing 501, you're shooting for the triple 20. It's the segment on the board that's worth the most. It's worth 60 points. where the bullseye is split between 25 and 50. In soft tip, the bullseye is worth 50 points, no matter if you hit the outside bowl or the inside bowl. So when you play soft tip, the bullseye is the biggest target on the board, worth the most money, so you're going to shoot at the bowl. And the point of 501 is really simple. You start at 501 and you count to 0. The only thing is that when you get to 0, you have to get the exact number out. So you have 14 left. You have to hit a 14, right? In the upper divisions or in the master divisions, which I play in, you have to hit a double or a triple out. So if you have 14 left, you have to hit the double 7. Or if you have 21 left, you have to hit the triple 7 or the 1 and the double 10. Whatever it is, you have to double or triple out. And so that's how you end up taking out like a 177. You hit that triple 20, triple 19, triple 20. That's 177 points. That's the maximum out that you can take in a 01 game, pretty much, except for 180, which is 3 triple 20s. So
is that have you done that before?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, like it's nothing. Like it's nothing.
I've thrown one perfect cricket game and a couple of perfect 01 games in soft tip. I've never hit a perfect game on steel tip. Because steel tip is a bit different. You have to double out in steel tip and you have to shoot the triple 20. And the triple, I'm a bit shorter, so the triple 20 is a little bit harder for me than I throw triple 19s a lot, and I can hit those pretty regularly. So it's a lot of fun. But that's definitely 401. In cricket's the same whether you're playing soft tip or steel tip. And the point is you got 20s, 19s, 18s, 17s, 16, 15, and bullseyes, right? Those are the only numbers on the board you play. And the point is that you need to close all your numbers and have more points before your opponent is able to close and have more points than you. I think the biggest strategy that I have in cricket is you can't lose a cricket game if you have more points. So the way you point is if like me and you are playing and I hit the triple 23 times.
Yeah, you're close. It's closed.
I'm closed, and then I have 120 points. Where if you have already closed the 20 and I hit that triple, then I just closed the 20. I don't get any points because you've already closed it. So the point is for you to have everything closed before I can point on it, or for me to be able to point before you can close. So
right. So what do you prefer, soft or steel tip?
So in the United States, the money is in soft tip, 100%. Like that's where the money is. I think I enjoy steel tip a lot and I play it quite a bit, but I definitely think soft tip's more fun. I think that the people are more relaxed. I've been to a lot of steel tip tournaments where it's so quiet in that room. Like it's so quiet, it's crazy. And you go to a soft tip tournament, it's loud, it's fun, music's playing, the machines are making noise, and it's just a more relaxed atmosphere. But I will tell you, when you're on that stage and you're in a soft tip event and everybody's quiet and they're watching you and all you have is the sound from the board, like when you miss a round and it's like that sound is so loud. It's so loud and you're like, oh my goodness, I can't believe we just did that in front of 200 people. When I was in California, I was playing that final event and I was literally everybody's watching you and you hit that final dart to win that match. Like it feels so good and it's so crazy. It's so crazy.
Dude, I fucking go insane when I hit a game-winning shot in a bar with like 20 other people in there.
Yeah.
Like I can't even imagine, bro. Let's talk about the tournament settings here real quick.
Yeah.
So what does like a typical, darts event look like? How many, I'm sure it just depends on, how many entrants there are and everything, but like, a bunch of just boards lined up on each side. You said 200 people watching you. Is that just for like the finals, or is that, just throughout the whole tournament? Like that's the crowd.
And that's actually kind of abnormal for a soft event. It just happened that this event, the finals all kind of ran congruently. And so everybody's there watching the finals because they're waiting for either their final to happen or they're waiting for the next final to happen. So usually in a soft event, you may only have 30 or 40 people watching the final. It's not usual to have that many people watching unless you're at like a pro event, like when the PDC comes. And the PDC comes, you have a whole different ball game. So like I'll talk about just like a regular like tournament that I typically play in. So like in Vegas, I'll be in Vegas in June playing my first tournament since COVID. and they have typically about 250 dartboards, and there is a huge number of players that come from all over the country to play. It's the national tournament of the year, and you just go up and down each row. You've got, row after row after row, and all different types of dartboards because it's a national dart event. So
Mhm.
they're actually sponsored by all the different dart makers. So you just go and you get your card and you say, okay, I'm on board, 45. You go to board 45, you meet your opponent, you play your match, and you go and you turn your card in, and you just go down this tree, just like a tournament bracket, until you get
Mhm.
to the end, and hopefully you don't get double dipped and you win.
So is there like a judge like for each board, or like is like people like walking around like a ref
Yeah,
or something, or is
yeah. So there's tournament staff that walk the floor. That way, if there's any disputes or anything, you can call one of them over. There's really very few disputes. Like I think that's one of the best parts of the game of darts. Like there's definitely ways to cheat, but it doesn't happen very often. And
Mhm.
I'd say 9 times out of 10, you got somebody that's respectful, like, hey, good match, and you move on. Because the great thing about dart tournaments is that usually there's, you know, 10 or 12 events throughout the weekend. So you lose one event, it's like, all right, on to the next event, and you just try again. And
Yeah.
so I love that aspect of it. But like when you get up to the pros, like overseas, and you're looking at the PDC, the Professional Darts um, Corporation, you're looking at a completely different ball game. You have to earn a tour card. So just like you have to go to, Q school in order to
Mhm.
qualify. So just
Mhm.
like they do for golf over there, you have to go
Yeah.
through Q school. You have to qualify to be able to even be on the pro tour, and then you go through, and you usually have to battle 128 people just to make it to the final, couple days, which is what is actually televised.
Mhm.
And darts is a huge sport. Like over here in the United States, like people don't realize how big darts is. But
Mhm.
if you watch like any pro dart tournament that's from overseas, you see a crowd that's filled with people that are drinking, singing. It's much like a soccer match indoors where they're
Yeah.
singing. And I mean, some of my favorite times have been the PDCs recently started coming back over to the United States. They come to Vegas every July.
Yeah.
And what happens is there's the US Open for them, where a
Mhm.
US player actually wins a spot to go play in the PDC World World title at the end of the year. And I've been lucky enough to go to the PDC events here in Vegas each time they've been here lately. And Red Eye Rhino and Ultimate Team Gear, we actually sponsor the event, so we're like front row. So when they do the all the event stuff and they're doing commercials, like I'm right there in the front row, like cheering and everything like that. So it's
Yeah.
a lot of fun. But I've had the opportunity to meet all the top players and everything. But one of our friends actually won and got to go and play over there, and it's amazing to see an American go over there and play. And I'm lucky enough to know most of them, and you'll say, hey, dude, like you rocked it for America, or get them next time, because honestly, their level of play over in the UK and over in Europe is so much higher than ours, and it's incredible to see the difference.
Wow. So when you're when when you're like shooting, so when you're playing darts, do you have the same motion every
Yeah.
time?
Yep.
Just has that been the same motion since 2013 when you started, or like
Oh
how do you
no, no, no.
how many tweaks, how many adjustments do you make to that over time?
That's a hard question because you definitely want to have the same motion as
Mhm.
much as you can. I mean, you want to keep it as even keel. The fewer movements you make in your arm, the less likely that you're going to miss your shot, right? So if
Right.
you start doing all these different things you have to do before every throw, you got to twist your arm, you got to move it this way, you got to do it this way, you got to throw. Every single time you make a little movement is going to change the outcome of your dart. So you really want to become as quick and as easy you can just to throw like that. So
Mhm.
you have the same motion every time, and you build up that muscle memory after a while, and you make small tweaks, and that's the thing is like if you're gonna make a tweak, you make it as small as you can, and you have to rememorize that tweak, to become, uh, you know, where you're just throwing exactly the same every time. you know. And
Mhm.
and there's a lot of people that are, you know, they have that muscle memory where they have to shoot in a rhythm. They're a rhythm shooter.
Mhm.
And if you break that rhythm, sometimes that's the way to win the match. Like, they're rhythm shooters, so you go a little bit slower, you slow down your pace, or the rhythm shooter and they're slow, so you speed up your pace. And it's all mental there. And I think for me, because I'm not a rhythm shooter, it's beneficial. I
Mhm.
don't care. You take 10 minutes, you take 5 seconds. I'm gonna go there and I'm gonna shoot my shot the exact same way every time.
Right.
Um,
Do you have any like rivalries or anybody that you like to play against more than others?
Uh, so I don't know that I have any like rivalries, but I love playing top rated players. Like whoever it is, like we have some awesome players in the United States that are fantastic. We've got a lot of Ultimate Team Gear. We've got a lot of good sponsored players that are people I look up to, and I love playing them because I feel like the only way you sharpen your knife is by sharpening it against someone that can do the same thing
Mhm.
and make you better. And so I love playing Dan Young. He's probably one of the top players in the United States. He's a good friend of mine. Um, man, there's so many. Joe Chaney, the Chainsaw. He's awesome. Eric Gregory.
That's a good name.
Yeah, I
Uh,
mean, dart names are huge. Like there's so many good dart names out there. Yeah, I mean, it's so funny. You go overseas, you got Michael Van Gerwen, the Machine, and Mighty Mike is what they call him. He's the world number 2 now, just recently. But he's probably the best player in the world, honestly. You got the Iceman, uh, or not Michael Van Gerwen. You got the Iceman, Gerwin Price, who actually used to be a professional rugby player, which is really funny actually because think about how many other sports players that are professional players that
uh-huh.
play darts. Manny Pacquiao plays darts. He actually had his own tournament down in the Southern California area for a long time,
Really?
where
Wow,
when
I
you
did
won
not
that
know
tournament, you
that.
got like a golden glove as your trophy. And there was been shows where Mike Tyson went on and he threw some darts, actually blindfolded, and hit a bullseye. And and you can see the way that he threw. Like it wasn't his first time throwing a dart.
Yeah.
So it's just crazy to see how many players actually play darts too. So
What's the coolest trophy that you've gotten? Are they all like is it all like like a golden dart? You said a golden glove or what do they look like? Are they
uh
plaques? Are they
yeah,
trophies or what?
plaques I think are the main one that you get. I got a round like glass disc one time. And that's probably my favorite one. It's heavy and it's just fun to like, yeah, I won this. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I've got tons of glasses with like my name on it etched in there and stuff like that, and beer glasses and all sorts of different things. Just whatever they can. My favorite trophy is money. When they give me money,
Yeah.
that's my favorite.
What's the prize pool like? So is it similar to golf where it's just obviously depends on your position you finished, or is it like
Yeah.
first gets everything
Some
or is it
tournaments, like if they're smaller, it's usually a winner take all. But
Mhm.
otherwise, it's sometimes depends on how big the tournament can be broken out to like 64 place, where there was like maybe 200 entrants. Top 64 is going to get something back. Maybe it's just their entry back, but
Mhm.
something. But like the tournament in Vegas, I think is over $100,000 total given out for the weekend. So I
That's
mean that's
ridiculous.
across all divisions and all money that's being paid out, but it's nothing to laugh about. I mean it's pretty
Oh
good.
yeah. That's six
So,
figures, baby.
yeah,
That's
exactly,
awesome. Uh
exactly.
so how many pairs of darts do you own? And do you have like a favorite set or like a favorite specific dart that you're like, I throw better with this one than I do anything else?
Yeah, I actually. So my buddy Tom, he actually had darts created through uh, Cosmo, which is a dart vendor, and
Mhm.
they're my favorite darts, and they're the ones that I play with. I've got a couple of. I mean, honestly, I have no joke, probably 45 sets of darts like available for
Jeez.
me to play. But those are my favorite, and they're the ones I play with regularly. They've got a great little spot for my phone, and it fits right in there, and I just throw them right out there.
How many different jerseys and shit do you have to pick from?
Oh man, like so working for Ultimate Team gear. Like I get my jerseys pretty regularly from them.
Mhm.
I man, I've got boxes of jerseys as well, and then all the ones in my closet. It's pretty much the only thing I wear. Plus, they're doing the 1LungLow jersey for the Twitch channel coming out. That shirt.
Yes,
So
I cannot wait for that.
I probably have 200 plus jerseys. Yeah,
All different colors and shit.
all different. None of them are the same. None of them are the same. I mean,
There's variety,
I've got a lot
man.
of red and blacks. And I've got a lot of blues and blacks, which are my favorites. So you'll see me wear like this is one of my red and black ones from the PDC when I was there. We sponsored that event, so we got the Las Vegas PDC. So
Is Vegas your favorite spot to go play, or what's your favorite tournament you've been able to play in?
I think Vegas is my favorite spot to go, just because there's so much to do outside of darts and food and just entertainment wise, and I love to gamble, so good stuff. And I've been able to be down there for a lot of really cool events outside of darts. So I think Vegas is my favorite, but I love going all over. Been to Chicago many times, playing over there. I love. I mean, Chicago is probably the mecca for darts in the United States.
Really?
So it got
I
So
didn't
Chicago
know
has
that.
Bull Shooter every year when there's no pandemic, of course, and it's probably the biggest, probably the first or second biggest tournament in the country, and it's all at the Chicago Hyatt down there by the airport, and it's like we
Okay.
take over Hyatt, and it's incredible. I mean, I think that's probably one of my, I think Vegas is probably my favorite spot, but I've been to California, to Alabama, to all over. It's been a whirlwind.
Do you have a least favorite spot?
Arkansas, I think.
Yeah.
I mean, I won't throw anybody else, but man, that place was hot and buggy, and it just not my favorite. Not my favorite. I mean, the venue was okay. Yeah, no, I'm just gonna say not my favorite.
So you're back to your tournaments, you said in June. You're in Vegas. How hard was this for you, like over the pandemic, to kind of stay like keeping the rhythm of darts? And I know you have a board at home. Is that the same?
No.
Throwing at that dartboard at home as it is throwing at one of, like, I know you said Bull Shooter. That's one of the brands that makes those electronic ones, right?
Yeah. That's actually the boards that we throw on, but Bull Shooter also puts on those events too. So they're a big company, and they're owned by Arachnid, which is a huge dart company, and they're awesome. Honestly, I was still rusty when I started playing a few weeks ago again. Like going out there and playing against people, it's like, I throw here a little bit. It's like, okay, I'm hitting the ball. I'm all right. But then you get out there and you start competing again, and like you're like, man, there's a lot of rust there. And so it's just working on, like, I probably see him about 50 or 60% of the way back. So it'll take a few more weeks before I feel like I'm back normal, but I'm already starting to feel it come back. But definitely not an easy task, that's for sure. That's for sure.
Do you have like a certain ritual that you do? Like, do you do the same thing before you go play darts, like every time? Like, eat like a specific meal, or is like, how do you hype yourself up to go fuck some people up? Like, Dart Daddy is on the fucking way. Watch out! I'm gonna fucking throw a hat trick, and I'm gonna take your bitch home.
Yeah. No, definitely. I think music is the biggest thing for me. Like, I listen to, and it's gonna sound stupid, but all I do is win. I listen to it all the time. Like, gets you kind of pumped up. Some old Black Eyed Peas, just like get that rhythm and I think those are the biggest things. I don't eat a lot before I play. Like, I feel like throwing on a full stomach is really, really bad for me. So I don't ever throw on a full stomach. I might have like some pretzels or just something to hold me over, but then I'll eat after I play.
So are you allowed to have like earphones in or like anything, like, or is it like you talking like back and forth with your opponents, like you talking shit back to each other?
You don't typically talk shit, but you definitely are allowed to have headphones. I typically don't play with headphones though, because a lot of the events are doubles events, and I like to be able to communicate with my partner and Just be able to like really affirm, like, okay, you did a great job. Let's try this. Let's do this. I'm typically the higher rated player when I'm playing doubles, and so a lot of times I'm coaching my partner to say, okay, like I play with a lower rated player on Sundays, and it's like, all right, you did it. You can do it. She's like, I'm not good at that number. It's like, just go for it anyway. You can do it. So just try to be encouraging. So I usually don't wear headphones. If I'm playing singles, I might wear headphones depending on who I'm playing, because there are some people that just kind of get in your head because they talk too much or something. It's like, I need to focus. I need to just, I need to do my thing.
Is the doubles, is that just is that random every time? Like or do you have like a set partner?
I do. I have a set partner. Yeah. So when I play like master level, I have my own set partners. A level, I have a set partner. And even when I play in the lower divisions where I'm the high rated player, I've got my set partners. So unless you're playing on a tournament on the weekend, and those are usually draws, and they're A/B draws. So usually I'm the A player, and then you got the B players that you're drawn with, and you go and you try to win the tournament. And it's fun. It's like those tournaments, they cost you $5 or $10, and you're there just to throw darts and have fun, hang out. Keeps you sharp.
Do you drink while you play or no?
I don't. I'm a sober player when I play, and then after I win, I celebrate and I drink.
There you go. I mean, that's even better. It gives you something to look forward to.
Or I drink because I lost, and now I'm consoling myself. So either way, it's drinks after we play.
For sure, man. So what's your advice for like a novice darts player? Me is what I'm talking about. Somebody who only plays when I go to get drunk at the bar. Like, what strategies should I be using for somebody that's just, just not very good? So when I'm playing by myself, or like, let's say I'm playing with a partner too. So like, obviously if you and I were partners playing darts, your back would hurt even more, because like I'd be right in your backpack. But like, what should my strategy be next time I go out to the bar and play some darts with my buddies?
So a couple of things, like advice that was given to me by people that I look up to in my area, like Andy Campbell and Nils Nelson. They're probably two of the people, and Gary Cruz. Those three people I look up to a ton in my area, and they're probably taking me under their wing, other than my uncle, the most, other than him. And some of the things that they've told me is like, when you're first out, just shoot for the ball. Just shoot for the ball consistently, and just stay on it. And like, once you feel confident hitting that bullseye, you can move your group around the board. So I that's where I think I started to get really into it. Is like, all right, once I'm hitting the ball, 2 out of 3 darts, let's start moving it, And so then you start aiming for the 19 or the 17. If you're playing 01 and you're drunk at the bar with your friends and you just want to take their money or whatever, for you as a novice, I tell you something different that most people don't think about, and that's to throw for the 14. And the 14 is on the left-hand side of the board. And the key to this is that when you're playing 01, you're just trying to get to 0, right? So if you miss that 14, you're going to hit a 14, you're going to hit 999, or you're going to hit a 11, right? So those are all pretty decent numbers. Where if you're drunk and you're shooting for the 20 and you miss, you're going to hit a 20, which you might be lucky, or you're going to hit a 5, or you're going to hit a 1. So when you hit that 14, it's called Power Alley. You're going to hit something that's worth some value. You're going to bring that score down a lot faster than your opponent, who's probably drunk as well, trying to be a badass shooting for his 20. Because he might get a 20 here and there, but if you're hitting that 14, that's 42 points.
Hell yeah.
In that 11, that's 33 points. Where they're going to be missing that 20 lot, and they're going to be hitting a 1, a 5, a 15 if they hit the 555, 3 if they hit the 111. So you are in a much better state, and your average dart is going to be a lot higher. So that's my advice if you're playing 01. If you're playing cricket with a friend that's drunk, find a number that you feel comfortable with, shoot at that number, and shoot at the number until you have points. Once you have points, then start moving around to other numbers. Aim for that number first every round. Get your points up. You shoot two for close, 1 for points every round, and you won't lose, because you can't lose if you have more points.
It's funny when you mentioned the triple nine, I started to laugh because when me and my friends play, if you hit triple nine, you buy shots for the whole group.
Oh, then maybe don't shoot
So
for
I'm like,
that.
I'm not fucking shooting for that, but I love that advice. You know, that's like a low key one.
Yeah,
Do you have obviously the bullseye is the hardest shot to hit.
that's a
What
mental thing.
you think that's a
A
mental?
100% mental. The bullseye is the biggest target on the board.
Okay.
Honestly, like if you take the bullseye and you move it anywhere else, like other than the outside of the board where the numbers are, it's the biggest thing. Like if you're aiming for a triple, the bullseye's bigger than the triple. You're aiming for a double, the bullseye's bigger than the double. And never shoot for doubles. Doubles are for pussies. I mean, the only time you shoot for doubles is in an 0-1 game where you're trying to win. If you're in cricket and you're shooting for doubles, you're dumb. Don't do it. You shoot for the triple. If you miss a triple, you're gonna hit a single. If you shoot for a double and you miss a double, you're hitting nothing. You might as well just grab your dick and go home.
Oh, if you're shooting for doubles, you're a fucking pussy. I love that. Dude,
that's a hot take right there.
That's a hot take, man. That just made me forget my next question. Okay, yeah. What's your least favorite shot to hit on the board, or like what least favorite number? Like, what do you think is the most pesky one to let's say on cricket to close out?
Cricket for me is probably the 20, just because it's high on the board and it's just not my favorite number. Every other number I can triple pretty consistently. I can even hit the triple 20 quite a bit. Just it's probably least favorite. 0-1. So the idea for 0-1 in the master level is to leave yourself 32 at the end, which is a double 16. Because if you had a single 16, you've got a double 8 left. If you had a single 8, you got a double 4 left. If you had a single 4, you got a double 2 left. If you had a single 2, you got a double 1 left. So it gives you a lot of options to take the game out. Where if you leave yourself a 14, you had a single 7, now you have to fix it by hitting a 3 and then a double 2. So you want to leave yourself the best mathematical option to be able to take the game out. And so in 0-1, I think it's the double 1 for sure. Because once you get down to double 1, you know, it's like it's a pain in the ass because then you hit that single 1, it's a bust. You know?
Yeah.
So double 1 in 0-1 and then probably the 20 in cricket.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure. What's your favorite shot? Is it triple 19 like you were saying earlier? I mean, or
yeah, in cricket, triple 19 is probably my favorite. In 0-1, double 16 for my out, and then I shoot for the bull every round besides that. When I'm playing in the master level, you can also triple out. So like my favorite high out that I've ever taken, I've taken out a 180 and I've taken out a 177. But my favorite like pretty out is probably a 151, which is a bull trip 17 bull.
Hell yeah.
And it's just fun because then you just start yelling 151 rum and it's just a good time. It's a good time. Good time.
What is your advice for somebody that, you know, let's say they play when they go out to have a few drinks at the bar, but, you know, they think they're pretty good, or like somebody that I don't want to say novice darts player, but, you know, somebody that, you know, kind of plays casually, but like wants to take the next step to that competitive. What would be your advice for them?
My advice would be most areas have a dart league or a dart association that you can be a part of. Like when I go to big tournaments and I'm playing steel tip, they always ask you what dart association you're playing out of. And so like mine is the Portland Area Dart Association. So wherever you're living, there's something like that in your area. And you can look them up on Facebook usually and find out your area where the tournaments are at. Or if you're wanting to play like soft tip, you go to like dartslive.com or bullshooter.com and you can find, you know, something in your area. But honestly, like you're gonna play soft tip, you can get a button, which is what they're called. They're these little buttons that you can take and you can go to the board and you can put in the button and you can play people all over the country. And so you get used to playing other people. But get involved in a league, play a local $5 tournament on a Friday night. just get out there and have fun. And honestly, nobody's gonna care if you're bad. As long as you don't go in there talking like, oh yeah, I'm the best. You're not gonna beat me, and then you can't hit a bullseye or anything. Like people will be like, well, you kind of oversold yourself. But just get out there and have fun. I mean, in the United States, we need to work on growing darts as a legitimate sport. I've had the opportunity to go to the biggest pool tournaments in the world because of Ultimate Team Gear. Like we sponsor the Moscone Cup, and which is like the top 5 U.S. players versus the top 5 Europe players in pool. And you go and you see that and you watch and it's like, all right, this is what we need to bring for darts inside the United States. And so it's definitely something that we need to do. And so if you're interested, go out there, play some darts, have some fun, and maybe I'll see you on the line at some point. That'll be fun.
Absolutely, man. The Dart Daddy says, go play some darts. It definitely is. Any bar that has fucking darts, I'm always all in. I'm like, oh, dude, ask the bartender for darts. We're fucking playing darts. It's so fun. It's so fun. And especially, I'm always in awe of people that are good at it and can like actually fucking throw it where they want it to go every time. So, Mikey, this has been awesome, man. Let's do some plugs for you real quick. I know you're about to fire up some Outriders when we finish this over on your Twitch channel. Whatever you want to plug, I'll throw your twitch.tv.1LungLow or /1LungLow up here. Whatever you want to plug, dude. Let us know about your schedule, what games you're into, all that good stuff.
Yeah, so I play a variety of games, mostly Call of Duty and right now Outriders, but come check me out, twitch.tv/1LungLow. Follow me on Twitter at 1_LungLow. I usually post a lot of stuff for Get High Watch Wrestling and Ron stuff, and so usually they're jokes, so go laugh at them. They're fun. I do have an Instagram. I don't use it a ton, but if you want to follow me, that way I can see your stuff too. I always enjoy seeing people's stuff, and it's a good time. But definitely go follow Ron as well. He's a good friend, good comedian. Twitch.tv/Ron_Funches. We do Get High Watch Wrestling on Mondays, Comedy Nights on Fridays, and Mario Kart on Sundays right now, which is on hold just because April's a busy month. We got Chop 420. So, yeah.
Seriously, it's
420.
Go. Thank you, Shenanigan. I appreciate that comment. I really appreciate you coming on, Mikey. This has been so fun, 1Lung, and it's insane. I think about it every time that we finish playing, like that I've met you, that I've met Shenanigans, Tight Spot, Carmen, and then that like I'm on like a first name basis with Ron Funches. Like that's just like so crazy, dude. And it's just like you've known him for forever, and it's like obviously we're just playing video games and shit together, but it just blows my mind. I will get off of our calls on Discord or whatever and just be like, holy fuck, like I'll just have to take a second. It's like we were just shooting the shit with fucking Ron Funches, and then like we just have such a great crew. Like I'm so excited about the Funch Bunch and like what we've been able to, just the amount of people we've been able to meet, like all the positive energy, the positive vibes from everybody, and the support. It's just such a great community, and I thank Ron for letting me be a part of it, and it's just opened the door to meet so many cool people and learn a lot about comedy and a lot about what Ron does, and play some great games and have some fucking incredible laughs. Like Dart Daddy, there was the whole banning of the one guy we don't need to talk about, all that good stuff. But there's just been so many nights where I've been feeling down or something. I'm like, let's see, like I hope somebody's streaming tonight, and I've been able to hop in the Discord, and you guys have really made my night, man. And this has been incredible. I'm so happy you're able to join me. Tell me all about darts one more time.
Yeah.
The Dart Daddy.
Well, what I think is funny is whenever I see somebody geeking out over Ron, that makes me happy because, like, for me, and it's same for me, like when I'm with Ron and he introduces me to other people, like that for me is a mind, fuck. It's like, dude, what the hell's going on here?
We didn't even talk about it, dude. He talked about you on Conan. Like I watched that. I watched that on my vacation in Florida, and I'm literally like that Leonardo DiCaprio meme from it's from Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, or I'm pointing at my fucking TV. I know him. He said 1Lung. He said 1Lung.
Yeah, which is super funny. I showed my grandma that, and she's like, they call you One Lung, and it's so funny. But yeah, like we did actually, as we can see my poster board behind us. We did our vision boards this year.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm in this group with Ron and his friends, and like I don't belong there. I don't feel like I belong there.
I'm in the same boat. I'm just like, holy shit! Like it's just incredible, man. So awesome, so thankful I was able to meet you, call you a friend.
Yeah,
I'm really thinking about this September trip out to Portland to come see Ron shows and
come to Vegas.
Come hang out with you.
Well, I'm going in July for UFC.
Oh,
so
fuck.
They're doing Conor McGregor versus.
Oh, you're gonna go?
Dustin Poirier. Yeah, well, I'm gonna be down there anyway with a bunch of the HC crew, and so I'm like, you know what? This will be my third UFC event. Let's do it. Let's do it.
We'll have to have you back on. We'll talk some UFC stuff. The next time we'll have you on. I'd love to have you back on for some UFC. Well, everybody go check out 1Lung on Twitch tonight. He's going to be playing some Outriders. He's awesome on Warzone, just whatever he does. It's always a good time. My favorite part about his streams is you can gamble points, even though that thing is rigged half the time. Basically, whenever I lose, I'm just kidding. But seriously, 1Lung, thank you so much for teaching me about darts. The next time I play, I'm definitely going to be messaging you like, all right, man, what's my next move here? I need some coaching here. Might need to hop on a video call or something. But
whenever, man, got my number.
Absolutely, dude. So, ladies and gentlemen, episode 57 of the Brew Party podcast. The video is available now on our Twitter, on our Facebook, and on YouTube, youtube.com/the Brew Party. Facebook.com/the Brew Party podcast, or on Twitter at the Brew Party. I'm Andy Hopper, your host. Been joined by Mikey all the way from Portland, Oregon, the Dart Daddy. Watch out, ladies and gentlemen. He's very humble. When I said pro dart player, he said he didn't know about that. He's played for money. You've won money, and you're sponsored by a company, and you have like 45 sets of darts. I'm calling you pro. You're just too humble. Competitive darts player, content creator for Higher Calling Entertainment, 1LungLow. The audio for this will be available wherever you get your podcasts, Apple, Spotify, Google, all that good stuff, or at www.thebrewparty.com on Thursday afternoon, morning. I'm going to be working on it when we get off of this. Make sure you go check out Mikey on Twitch. Twitch.tv/1LungLow. We are out of here. Thank you so much for joining the party. We will see you next time.